I started in high school as a stagehand backstage with Lorna's daughter backstage, and really came to love the theater. And also Lorna was our theater director at Performing Arts here in Buffalo. So from there, kind of being under her wing and under her expertise, Lorna was a visionary director, artist, and scholar and teacher. So learning from her and her directing our high school performances, I really found my love for theater. And then fast forward to after I graduated from college, I found myself back in Buffalo and went to one of the last performances in our old space, and Lorna said, "Hey, what are you doing now that you're back home?" And I said, "Nothing." So from there, really started to perform on stage at Ujima, and then the pandemic happened. We unfortunately lost Lorna during the pandemic. She was a wonderful woman that fought very up until the end with cancer, but then I stepped in to kind of keep the vision going, keep her legacy going. At the time when Lorna and some of her friends and colleagues were kind of just sitting around in the 70s, early 80s, and said that there weren't any spaces for Black artists, Black voices, Black technicians, and not just to Black people, but Latino, just people of color in general. There was no space for them to feel safe, to express, to grow, to feel like they are being cultivated. So during that time, at the time, there were maybe 300 Black-led theaters across the country. To this day, there's about less than 100, just to kind of show you the trajectory of the importance of Black theater and Black art making. But that is really the basis of Ujima. Ujima means collective work and responsibility in Swahili. So even though we're a theater company, we're a little bit different in the way of we have a core base of a company that really is the integral heartbeat of our organization. So you might find some of the company cleaning the bathrooms or as box office staff, but you will see them on stage performing these amazing shows. You might see them in the tech booth, or they might be handing you your ticket, but we created a community of love and responsibility and what it means to take care of the people that you see every day, the people that you don't see every day. What does that mean for sustainability? So it's a very special place in Buffalo that's not like some of the other theater companies.
Yes, I think it's also really important to note that the work that we do, the shows that we produce, the community outreach that we do is all centered around uplifting voices that aren't being heard, right? And that's why we've extended our hand to a lot of other communities, because there are many communities that aren't being heard. Whether it's the Black community here in Buffalo, whether it's the Latino community here in Buffalo, whether it's the differently abled communities here in Buffalo, whether it's the previously incarcerated communities here in Buffalo, we're always reaching out to make sure these voices get heard and that our productions are supporting this work and that the work that we do are in turn supporting the productions.
Ujima really is about storytelling, and what does that mean for our community? So throughout the years, it's been the story that we've been telling through the Black lens, and at first you might think that it's very exclusive. Like when you hear the phrase Black-led, people think, oh, it's only exclusive to Black people. But when you step into our theater and the lights go down and you experience our storytellers on stage, you find that all of our stories are universal. Ujima really only runs on 2.5 staff members. We love what we do and also the collective, but we're not always able to pay everyone at a livable wage. Most of our artists do have a daytime job or do have, multiple gigs just to sustain. So we hope that our art speaks in a way that allows people to understand the value in what we're putting in and have more people support us. I mean, we've gotten to 45 years as of next month, so we are very excited, and we take pride in the fact that we are telling the story. We are sharing our story. Our theater and our work is about Black joy, and to tell Black joy and understand what Black joy is, you have to tell the stories of how we got here, or just the stories that are happening now. We now look to what that means, and we take from what is happening in our communities, what is happening in our areas, to really push forward. So it's been exciting. Art is what makes the world go round.
Yeah, and I think kind of what Brian is also, touching on is that we need to not have to constantly defend why this art is important. I think we spend a lot of time as theater administrators, and just art administrators having to fight and justify our work, justify why we need to tell this story. And if we could cut that out and just focus on doing the work, we'd be leaps and bounds ahead of where we are now, especially with the limited resources that we're all working with and buying for.
I think the future of Ujima is carrying on the legacy of Lorna C. Hill. She was an avid supporter of pouring into our children, pouring into young artists. So through our Dunbar Youth Program, which Gabby is ahead of, is one of our biggest things, but really it's understanding that we can't do it alone. The basis of Ujima and the basis of what Lorna was trying to get people to come together like a flock of birds is we have to do it together. We have to fight together, we have to laugh together, we have to love together, we have to create together to move forward and start to change the history that repeats itself way too often. It's love and justice is what is driving us into the future, and hopefully for another 45 years or however long people want to keep doing theater, which I hope is forever.